This episode is a little bit different to what I normally do. Normally I review cars and we do stuff like this. Stuff like this.
Don't touch turbo boost, Michael.
And the odd bit of this.
It's weird. You've got loads of room, so why didn't you do anything with it?
But in this episode, it's not so much a barn find, it's more of a walk exploring some true automotive dereliction. We've been tipped off that there's an E-Type Jag, amongst other things. We're going to 2 locations here in Norfolk with my brother Greg. Greg's got his scrapyard hat on. I've got my barn find fleece on. We're hoping to see some interesting abandoned vehicles. Welcome to the Late Break Show. I'm Jonny Smith.
Burger alarm box.
Was it wired up to the tree?
Gosh, this is challenging my car pervert mind.
It's got a pink close coupled toilet.
Well, we're outside the first location. It's an abandoned house with a public footpath that runs right next to it. So we're going to go and have a look inside here.
You haven't found any barn find knickers?
No, there usually is. Obviously there's a crushed can of Monster.
Yeah.
And some Lidl alcohol.
So I've checked out the map and I've been tipped off about this place by a viewer of the Late Break Show. He sent me a pin drop and said you might want to have a look at this. So it's sort of the remains of a house, but apparently somewhere in the undergrowth are a couple of old cars. 3, maybe 4. One of them being a Jag E-Type. I know it's rotten, I know they're all completely rotten, but it's a case of just want to satisfy some curiosity. I'm only looking for car parts.
There's the rotten remains of an early modern cylinder vacuum.
Oh yeah. A really old vacuum tube. And more Copperberg and energy drinks.
Yeah.
You can hear the
nice
road.
fly tipping.
Yeah.
Hashtag COP26.
So there's the road. That's my car. Well, we're not really interested in houses, we're interested in cars. Do you think this is it?
I don't know, if you're into that. What's in here?
I do enjoy walking, but I much prefer walking when there's the chance of finding a decaying old vehicle or two. It just makes it a little bit more fun. Should be, according to my Google Earth, close to the E-Type. Greg,
Yeah.
come here. We've just been walking around this undergrowth. Can you see this in here? Look in here. It looks like a completely collapsed garage.
Yeah, there's the bonnet of
And there's a bonnet of a car. There's a really, really interesting bonnet of an old car. And there's another car, which is a Triumph Herald, because I can tell from the rear wing. You see that rear wing there? That's the remains of a Herald. And I really mean remains.
I've spotted the E-Type.
Have you?
Yeah. It's over the back. Look. Go in high and you'll see it is red.
It is red, that's right.
Right over the back there.
Oh, I can just see a bit of red. Right, so we have to work out which undergrowth we need to crawl through to get there. Now, if you have watched some of my normal videos before, you've probably seen the one where I went urban exploring last summer with the bearded explorer. If you haven't, I'll put a link up above for that one now, because we found a Jensen Interceptor, amongst other things. Gosh, don't want to fall. There's loads of just collapsed walls. Not much scrap. This wasn't a scrapyard. This was either a house or a business. Greg, what you got?
Twin SUs.
Oh yeah.
And something, look.
SU's covered in moss and ivy.
Yeah, but that's a really distinctive sort of torpedo-shaped air cleaner.
It is, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yeah.
They're still complete with the dynamo and the fan and everything.
The steering box and stuff there. And look at the roof.
Oh my gosh, so It is the whole car.
It's the whole car. Look, the front wheel, the axle is in under all this. Demolished.
Oh, there's a door with a door panel.
Yeah.
Can you see that there? There's that light coloured thing. That's the fabric door trim panel. What is that? Is that a radio?
The remains of
Is it a
compact radio.
Is it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's Greg's on the door. What was the driver's door? Is that the ring for the steering wheel?
That's the ring for the steering wheel.
Oh my gosh.
With red leatherette on it still.
Gosh.
Let me see if I can. There's a boss in the centre of the steering wheel.
And you can see the roof here.
And there's trafficator switch in the centre of the steering wheel, but no maker's name.
So this is the front end of the Triumph Herald. All this moss is Triumph Herald. You can see there's the door aperture. This is the back of the Herald over there, which we'll go to. Greg's over there somewhere. All of the roof, what was the roof of this shed workshop, has gone. It's all on the floor. All these are roof timbers. All these. But there's the back of that car that we've just crawled through there. So as I say, we're in Norfolk. I don't disclose locations, but I do disclose things like this, which again has had the whole roof drop on it. And I'm actually sat on, as I can tell because of that, the Triumph Herald. Under here we've got, just try to get some of this. Bumper overriders, bottom of the rad grille. Yeah, there we go, look. Yeah, there we go. I'm sure a few of you already knew that it's a Riley, this car. With the roof is completely crushed by either the roof of the garage or rot, or both. Now it's time to go over there where that little bit of red is.
This E-Type is a 3.8 Series 1.
The E-Type's a Series 1?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, by engine, yes, 3.8.
And is it complete? I mean, I'm stood on what was the roof of the Riley. Do you know what Riley it was?
An RMB.
RMB?
Yeah, and that's the remains of the back. You can tread on it, it's all right, I'll come over. I think there's, at least, see, there's another car in there. There's more cars in there than you think.
It's so much ivy. There's trunks of ivy.
But in effect, the whole thing is here, but obviously the body is the chassis, so it's rotted away.
Let's have a look.
But there's the whole of the, engine there.
Oh, hang on. There's more. This looked.
Oh yeah, there's loads more in there as well.
Is there?
Yeah, inside there. I can't get to it because I need to do some more climbing, but I thought I'd wait for you.
So hang on. This bonnet is the E-Type bonnet.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Which obviously is gone.
Yeah, this had a shell on it. The guy that tipped me off about this showed me a photo, and it had more of a shell. All the pillars were rotten. You could lift the roof off. I think someone's lifted the remains of it off. But look,
Even the wheels are there.
The wires. It had a tarp on it.
It has been covered. Yeah, so here's where the fuel tank could be. Look, there's the reversing light, which would be there. And the two exhausts come under the IRS. And
yeah, there's the handbrake. Look, the chrome wand. It's obviously still got the engine and gearbox in because it is only an engine and gearbox. Gosh,
that's it.
That's the most rotten E-Type I've seen.
Unfortunately, that's where the number would be stamped on the picture frame there.
Somebody pulled it off.
Well, no, it's just completely rotten away.
It could be under all these leaves. So here's the straight 6, look.
Engine number, I think, is usually stamped either there or there. Yeah.
Can you see this though? That's the transmission tunnel cover.
It's an early one because look, regulator. So dynamo. Yeah, look, dynamo.
So you think it's a Series 1?
It's definitely a Series 1.
Wow. I mean, there's not a lot. We'll see if we can flip the bonnet round.
On that side, it should be moulded into the block, what capacity it is, but I reckon it's a 3/8.
That is such a
You know what that is? That's the air scoop for the blower that's fitted on the inside of the bonnet.
Oh yeah.
And there's the there's the poor old Smith's blower, which would sit sort of there.
That's right, yeah, yeah.
Battery is in this area. There's a nice and unpleasant coloured red.
Yeah, red E-Type, not sure I like that, but
no.
To be honest, it's never going back on the road again anyway. That is definitely E-Type.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
There's the bulge and the gills.
Gosh, it's so rotten.
Yeah,
it's biblically
so
rotten.
I can't actually.
So we are inside the, you can probably see, we're inside the four walls of what would have been a workshop.
Look, there's the, this always made me laugh on E-Types. That is the Lucas fan, cooling fan.
Just two.
With the bent piece of biscuit tin lid vanes, fan blades. But that's actually just a wiper motor with the wiper crank bit not present. So that's Bentley size.
Wow.
So the valve goes in the centre and the tyre goes in there, and all that keeps the tyre on the rim is the pressure in it.
Really?
Yeah, but as roads got better and grip got better, you couldn't really use them because it would drag the tyre off.
There's another two behind you.
Yeah, and you see that's a bigger, that's like 8 litre Bentley size, or that's Rolls Royce size. Yeah, some really ancient tyres. 895 by 135. That's a big tyre.
That is a big
And on a big, that's a Rudge Whitworth 80 hub, splined hub.
Okay, so it is a business as opposed to a house, I think. West Norfolk engineer, we've just found this entrance. Again, there's no roof. There's no roof to any of this. We're going to go and see if what car this is. Good. Oh, there's two. Hang on, there's two.
The one nearest an Anglia or
there's actually three. There's a lorry chassis.
105E or something with the classic McPherson strut rotting out.
Through the. There's an I-beam. Is that what was the holding the roof up? I don't know.
With the blunt nose like that, and you can see.
Look at the door handle. That's an Austin Westminster, isn't it? You can see where the bonnet round all
Austin A50 or A55.
What's the one that Banger Racers really like? Is it the Westie?
The Westie, yeah.
That's the bonnet of this car, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Just see if I can get over.
Drop select.
It's actually quite hard to ID some of these.
Normally
really I'm good at IDing. These are challenging. Okay, so this is definitely one of those situations where I didn't think Greg's on top of what we think to be the Anglia or a Pop that's next to an Austin, maybe A55. And in here, I didn't know this was a car, but there is a car in here. What is this? And it's had a whole garage collapse on it, which is why it's got concrete bits and all sorts in it. My word, what is this? Hang on. Under here, again, still got an engine in it, obviously.
Yeah, BMC, isn't it? It's mad, isn't it, from that period, almost irrespective of what car you bought, the equipment was the same.
It was. Are we getting back to that?
Smiths and Lucas.
Are we getting back to that with Bosch and Continental and then...
I guess so.
Okay, well I think we've extinguished all possibilities, automotive possibilities from this site. We found the Jag, remains of the E-Type. We found a Riley, a Herald, Austin, Westminster, I think it is. Not loads of cars, but a very odd situation, completely collapsed in roof that I think has been derelict for decades. And some 20s, Greg thinks perhaps Bentley splined wire wheels. Now we're going on to the next location, which is an old scrapyard that closed down back in the 80s. Had thousands of vehicles, some of which are pre-war. Now there's about 50, but it's a great walk with some sunken treasures. Still in Norfolk. Let's go. Right, we've parked the Zoe and we're here at what was Medlar's metal reclaimant or scrapyard. So it's down there. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it'd be great if you would like to subscribe. I have done some urban exploring before, but normally what I do on the channel regularly is barn finds. And I'll put a couple of examples of those at the end.
I
don't know what suspicious activity would be done around here. Now, what I've heard about meddlers, scrap merchants, is that nature has truly taken over all the vehicles. There's many completely sunken or just roofs. Yeah, and there's trees growing through stuff, and that's when it starts to be quite beautiful, because vehicles are returning to Earth. They've just been left for years and years and years and years for nature to kind of claw them back. There is a sort of beautiful element to it. Here we go. We've got some vehicle remains.
Lorry wheel.
Yeah, that's a mini wheel there. Look, I reckon. Oh no, hang on, it's too big. Yeah, but the start of the car wheels and bits and bobs. Gosh, I don't know what that was. That's a boat.
Oh, so it is.
That's the remains of a bloody boat. That's
Must
not
have
good.
been a hell of a wave to watch.
Can you see the kitchen? There's a bit of a kitchen still stood up. It's the only bit that's vertical. Well, there we go. Do you fancy
There's a wheel with a cross ply on it there, look. Is that old Ford Pop or something like that?
Oh yeah, there is.
In amongst obviously the industry standard amounts of corrugated
asbestos. I know.
There's the classic Lucas sealed beam. Not sealed anymore. It's mad, isn't it? Virtually every car of that era
had something
had
like
the same headlamp.
Yeah, I know.
7-inch Lucas sealed beam.
Although there used to be thousands of vehicles here, there's an awful lot of fuel tanks, wheels, tyres, but there's still some stuff. In fact, I don't know if you can see that, but there's an old, what looks like an old school bus, very similar to the one that Greg and I used to go to Kingsmead School in Wivaliska in. There's, when you look down while you're walking, there's just so many pieces of glass and doors and wheels and tyres that are strangely familiar. Like that door, is that a transit van? An early transit? That's another boat. Over here I can see a roof of something very early. Look at that, that is a full tree growing through the body of an early car. Greg, pre-war, definitely. But how early?
What do you think that is?
Well, it's not, is it an Austin Ruby? Or is it too big for that? Well, here's a boot lid. A boot lid in the same colour. There's
that's Morris Minor.
Oh, that's a Morris Minor. You can see the badge. This is, look.
Full-length sunroof.
Full-length sunroof. Full tree growing through.
Gosh, the back axle is still there. So this tree is actually growing.
This tree's grown through it. Yeah. Is that the fuel tank?
It's got spoked wheels. Yeah, that's the petrol tank. leaf springs, there's the diff.
Yeah, this is not Greta Thunberg's idea of a nature walk. So apparently this was a pig farm as well as being a scrapyard. And the pigs used to be bred here and sometimes slaughtered here. And actually that was linked to a tragic accident which involved one of the young lads, one of the Medler family boys, I believe, got electrocuted when they were trying to take some pig feed to one of the pig sheds using I don't know, some sort of machine like a
Tipper or something.
A tipper truck, and it struck a power line and it electrocuted them. And I'm not sure if that was the beginning of the end of the scrapyard. Little estate car. What's that?
The hubcaps are interesting.
It's not a Hillman Husky. Is it a Husky?
Hillman Husky, yeah.
My gosh, it's the most wrong.
Rear lights, that's Hillman. I'm pretty
yeah, sure. I thought it did look Huskyish. Look at the level of rot. I mean, everything in here is so far beyond help. But that's almost what makes it an interesting exploration.
Another Smith's blower motor, of course.
Look at the tree, look, growing around the Husky that's just in multiple pieces. Gosh, that is a wreck. And that is one of several just deep in all of these hedges. There, all in there. And I've just seen some over there. Blimmin' heck. That's an Austin A30 van. Austin A30. Did they do an estate version, or was it?
Yeah, you could get. They called it Countryman, didn't they? I think.
Look at that.
Was that the A40?
Look, there's bodies of cars just flapping in the wind.
Look at that. Sidevalve, probably a Ford Sidevalve, although it's an alloy head. Alloy cylinder head. I wonder what that is.
Well, hang on, this has got a number plate on it, Greg. Look, on this bumper, yeah.
GMV.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the shape of the bumper, you can tell how old it is.
Mm.
Look at all the roof shells. About the only surviving thing, there's just these roofs and rear windows. This one's a split, Greg. Look, split rear window. We are surrounded by undergrowth, and within the undergrowth, as Greg's finding, you see a car or a van, and then you see another one, and then you see another one, and it's just, look, there's another body. I say body, I mean car body, obviously. But look, oh my word, look at all these early cars. Carcasses, absolute carcasses everywhere. Having a bit of a wave of nostalgia actually, because when me and Greg over there were kids, Dad, and I've probably said this before, but Dad used to take us to a lot of scrapyards to buy bits for our family car and kind of mend them ourselves. And we used to see really, really old cars in scrapyards, you know, like we did used to see 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s stuff. And this would have been in the 80s. Oh my gosh, what's that? I think I've disturbed a bird. I blew it. I nearly shat myself in. But I mean, look, this is a van with semaphore indicators. The steering wheel's just rotted. The whole steering column's rotted out of it. Column shift. But it's kind of all there, where it was.
Look, it's a flat twin. But it's a car.
A flat twin car.
Yeah,
Bloody
look,
hell.
A Sidevalve flat twin. Look at that inlet manifold.
Yeah, that's like an you know, like an Alpha Sud or a.
I wonder if it's like a Douglas-made flat twins.
But it's a car.
Yeah, look, it's a car. Steering wheel, 4-speed. Is it 4-speed? No, 3-speed with reverse.
Wow.
Ah, that's weird, and it's H-gate away from you.
What is this? Can you see anything on the rocker covers? Or can you tell from the wheel centres?
And it's water cooled.
Is it?
Yeah. No fence.
That's a bit red.
I wonder if it's. I'm trying to see if it's front wheel drive.
There's not a lot left.
No, it's not.
Is there?
But what a mad thing.
Right, we've encountered a building, and I think this is one of the old pig feeding barns, pens. And there are some vehicles down there as well, so we're going to go down here. Right, we're going to go into this pig pen because there's one car here, only one I think, that is dry stored. Mind your head. This is the only dry stored car in this.
I would say is a Ford.
Should we have a closer look? Well, when I say dry stored, it is in the dry. I'm not sure it's done it any favours, even though the roof above it is... The whole thing is sloped to the side.
It's so weird how some things survive
Against
almost
all
implausibly well.
Yeah.
And some things don't.
Yeah. Well, this has been indoors, and yet the interior looks really good.
Yeah.
Really good, doesn't it?
The headlining is mint.
Is it? Well, look at the back seat. Shout out the back seat. That looks really, really good.
There's no rips in
The
it.
front seats look good. The door cards look good, but yet the rest of the car is just dissolved. What have you found?
Side valve engine, complete with remains of copper head gasket. There's the valve.
And it's been taken in by a tree.
Yeah.
Look. This is proper Carchaeology. Wow. How long has that been sat next to that tree?
God knows.
Well, I think we've found as many vehicles or bits of vehicles as we can here. It's just been a really nice walk.
Yeah.
Weather came good. It's just very relaxing and autumnal. Good for the mind. Greg's got fired up about some old pre-war bits. And this particular episode is unusual for me. I normally do a review of a new car, or I go to and do a barn find. This is not a barn find, this is a bit of a twist, but I did wear the barn find fleece just in case. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to the Late Break Show already, please subscribe. And if you can identify any of the vehicles in this, why not comment below? In the meantime, me and Greg are going to go on this old school bus and
see how far we get.
See how far we get, yeah. I'm gonna kick the back seats, and you're gonna put some chewing gum under the driver's seat.
Kick the seat, let all that dust come out.
Oh yeah, the inexplicably weird dust.
Amazing.